Hey, it's Jess. Welcome back. Today I'm here to talk about Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. The reason I picked this book up is Books and Lala on YouTube hosts a year-long buzzword readathon where each month you have different prompts or specific words that you are supposed to pick books in that prompt. The titles fit those prompts and read them. Her rules are a little bit different. I think hers are read as many of those as you can, like in the first week, but I just pick it for like one of the books I'm going to read that month. And so the prompt for May was a book with the word every in the title, and so I chose Every Heart a Doorway. I listened to this as an audiobook. It is the first book in the Wayward Children series. In this series, in the world, there are doors to other worlds placed throughout our world. And in this book, you are following Nancy, who went into a door and has come back, and her parents won't accept that she's different and she can't get over her time in this other realm. And so she's sent to this school for wayward children who have everyone there has gone through a door and come back. And she is meeting all the residents there. You find out that there's different types of doors and different types of lands that you can go to. And while she's there, students start dying. And so she's not really actively trying to figure out how they died, like who killed them, but also she and another group are trying to figure out who's killing these kids because she doesn't want to be killed. It's a short book. I think the audiobook was like 4.5 hours, and I believe the 8th one possibly just came out. There's quite a few in the series. I really liked this book. I've been wanting to read this series for a long time. I just hadn't picked it up yet, and I'm really glad that I did. I really want to listen to the other ones. And I think the other ones like follow different children. I don't think they all take place in the school, but again, I don't know because I've only listened to the first one. But highly recommend. It was a good fun time. It was a short listen. It'd probably be a pretty short read. And overall, I just love Seanan McGuire's writing. This is only her second book that I've read, from her writing as Seanan McGuire. She also writes horror books under the pen name Mira Grant, and I've read almost all of her horror books. I've loved all of those too. She's just such a great writer, so descriptive, and you really feel for these characters. And overall, I really, really enjoyed this one. And now I want to know, have you read this book? What did you think? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey, it's Jess. Welcome back. Today I'm here to talk about The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is the third Riley Sager book that I have read. I have also read Home Before Dark, which I loved, and I read Lock Every Door, which I was not impressed with. So I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this one going into it because, again, the first Riley Sager book, absolutely loved it. The second one, eh. In this book, you are following Kit. It is set in the 1980s, and she is a home health care worker. She has just been assigned a job to go take care of an old woman named Lenora in this big, house on a cliff. And Lenora is like a town urban legend because in 1929, there were rumors that she killed her entire family. And so Kit is like, I don't want to go work for scary Lenora Hope. That's her last name is Hope. And what is happening here? But she has to go. Lenora has had a series of strokes, so she's mute. She's basically paralyzed. She can only move her left hand. And so Kit is taking care of her. There's these creepy people there. There's a house, not a house mother, but like a lady of the house. She takes care of everything. Her name's Miss Baker. And then there's a maid, and there's a groundskeeper, and now there's Kit, who's the nurse to Lenora. And Kit really feels like she is bonding with Lenora, and then she finds out that Lenora can use a typewriter. And so she'll take Lenora over to the typewriter, and Lenora says, I want to tell you what really happened in 1929. I want to tell you my story. And so that's what happens. And being a Riley Sager book, there are a million different twists and turns. He is one that's like, he can't just have one twist. He's got to have multiple. And some of them are very unbelievable. I didn't like all of the twists that came in this book. I kind of figured it out a little bit, one of the twists, just a little bit. But overall, I had a really good time reading it. I read it really quickly. I have another friend who was reading it at the same time I was, so I kept saying, hey, you need to catch up. I want to talk about this book. I don't even know if she's finished it yet, but I need to text her and see if she has, because Ashley, I want to talk about this book now. Have you finished it yet? So as far as recommending it, it's very gothic horror. It's this big, scary, like, mansion. Parts of the mansion and the grounds are like fallen into the ocean because it's on a cliff and it's really old. And I really liked the atmosphere at the beginning. Well, I liked the atmosphere of the story, and I thought the character development was pretty good. Overall, not my favorite Riley Sager, but if you liked more of his, like, thrilling horror, like Home Before Dark, you'll probably like this one. Again, I can't compare it to anything else he's written because the only other book I've read is Lock Every Door. This was much better than that one, in my opinion. But I want to know, have you read this book? What did you think? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey, it's Jess. Welcome back. Today I'm here to talk about Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. I read this book because it is on my list of books that I own that I haven't read. I picked it out of my TBR jar for May, and that's how I ended up reading it. It is a short book, 110 pages maybe, a novella. In this book, you are following 12-year-old Junior, who lives in a trailer with his mother and his younger brother. And his father passed away in a tragic accident several years ago. And one night, Junior is sleepwalking and wakes up and thinks that he sees his father. And so then the story is him doing things, seeing signs of his father's presence, and trying to figure out how to make his father more present and how to make his father come back even as a ghost. This was not my favorite Stephen Graham Jones book. I have read several of his books. I've read another novella by him. I do love his writing. I know for some people it's hard to get into, but to me it's just, it feels comfortable. Every time I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is how he writes. And I love it. It really connects with me. But I know that his writing is not for everyone. I thought this was interesting. It was an interesting story, but honestly, for being 100 pages, it took me a really long time to get through this book. It didn't capture my attention the way that some of his other books have. So while I'm glad I have read it, and again, it's another book that I can get off of my TBR shelf, it wasn't my favorite, and I don't know who I would recommend it to. I probably, like, my dad wants to read it, so I'll send it to him, but I don't know if I would read it again. Now I want to know, have you read this book? What did you think? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.